We're baking up some good old Southern biscuits today, y'all. Some in the oven, some in the air fryer. Which one do you prefer? Come on, y'all. Let's get it going. Simple recipe. We're starting off with some self-rising flour. Today I'm using Martha White. Okay, we're going in with 2 cups of this self-rising flour. Okay, so now we're going to be adding 3 tablespoons of sugar. I like my biscuits just a little bit more sweet, but if you don't want them as sweet, you can go down to about a tablespoon and a half to about 2 tablespoons. Okay, now we're going in with a little bit of baking soda. That's a half a teaspoon. I like it for the little extra rise, even though I'm using self-rising flour. Let's stir it all in and get all those dry ingredients mixed in here. So on a separate chilled plate, this plate is chilled, I'm taking a stick of salted butter, which is 4 ounces. Making sure it's frozen. You want that butter nice and frozen. And we're just going to grate it like we would cheese. And the reason I'm doing it on the plate is because the bowl was just a little high. And this was just easier for me to use the plate. And I'm using the fine side of the grater, but you are free to use the bigger side. You may only have one side, whichever one you have will work just fine. Okay, we're just going to keep going until we get it all nice and grated. Make sure to watch those fingers. I clipped mine one time. It didn't necessarily feel good. Okay, so we got all that butter nice and grated here. Get a little bit of this off of this grater, as much as we can. All right, so we're just going to put this nice cold butter into our flour mixture. Just take a little spoon and get the little leftover little butter bits off of this plate. And if you were just using your hands, like the larger pieces, like if you just cut your butter, you just take your hands and kind of mesh the butter and the flour together to make like a cornmeal mixture. But because this butter is grated so fine, all you have to do is take a spoon and just kind of stir it in real good. Coming together nicely. Very easy recipe, y'all. Making sure we get all those little chunks that may have come together as we were stirring it. Okay, so now we're going with some buttermilk. We want to give it a nice shake. And we're going to just make a little hole in the flour here. And we're going to be pouring in 1 cup, well actually a cup and a half, roughly a cup and a half. Full measurements will be in the description. So easy enough. We're just going to stir that all in, adding that flour to that buttermilk till we get it all nice and incorporated here. Now when stirring it, you want to make sure you're not leaving any of the flour off to the side. You want to make sure everything is blended nicely without over mixing. You want to just mix it just long enough to get it mixed without just overdoing it. Just making sure it's all mixed in there. That little bit of dry flour, it's all mixed in now. Okay, so I'm just going to take a little bit of flour on my hands and I'm just going to begin to kind of work this dough just a little bit, because we just want to make it to where we can work with it without it sticking to our hands. Just adding a little bit of flour at a time. Just want to make sure the dough ball just kind of comes away from the side of the bowl without sticking to it. Much better. You want a little bit of tackiness, but not too much. Perfect. Okay, so now I'm going to put a little flour on my surface here. A little flour on my little table. Okay, now I'm going to work this dough ball. And again, I'm being very gentle with the biscuit dough here, because I don't want to make it tough. So I'm just adding a little bit of flour as needed, again, just to keep it from sticking. And once you get it to a point where it's not sticking, you can work with it just a little bit better. Just fold it a few more times here. Again, very light. You can see I'm barely pressing. Okay, I think I've worked it pretty good now. Okay, so now I'm just going to press it down here. Now you can use a rolling pin. I use a rolling pin in several of my videos if I'm doing different kind of biscuits. But this time I'm just going to use my hands. Going real old school today. So we're just pressing it out real good, because we're going to create those little folds. And I'm taking just a little spatula. Is this called a spatula? I use what I got. At work, I use like a putty knife. And you just fold it. And it should be able to fold pretty good. And you shouldn't have anything sticking to the table at this point. All right, keeping your surface with a little bit of flour on that. And I'm pressing real light. I promise I'm not putting too much pressure on it at all. Okay, so I'm just going to fold to create my last bit of layers here. And this is a small amount of biscuits, y'all. This will only make about 9 to 12 biscuits. This is a recipe that if you're just cooking for, just a Saturday morning, Sunday morning, not a lot of people, you're not going to have a whole lot of biscuits, but you can always double the recipe if you like. Not much dough at all. See? Fits in my hand perfect. So again, right here you can use your rolling pin, but I'm just lightly pressing, getting a really nice rectangle shape. Trying to get those edges as pointy as I can. Because if you watch any of my other biscuit videos, I don't do round biscuits. I like to just kind of cut them in squares. Just want to press it as even as possible. And before we cut them, you'll see that the biscuit dough should be about 3/4 of an inch thick. Yes, about 3/4 of an inch thick here. Okay, so now we're just gonna cut right down the center of the dough. Well, as close to the center as possible. I got a little off here. Doesn't have to be perfect. And again, I'm cutting my biscuits into squares because I don't like waste. I don't like to over mix and have to knead the second portion of the dough. You know, the dough that you don't use when you do round biscuits. A lot of times you'll form some more biscuits out of that. Most of the time, those are tough. The second batch is normally tough, and we don't want tough biscuits. So we're going to knead it one time and cut them, and don't have to knead the dough anymore this way. Perfect. So I have 12 little nice sized, medium sized biscuits here. And in this bowl, I just have one egg mixed with about a tablespoon of water. This is what I'm going to use to brush over the biscuits. It's going to give it a very nice gloss to the biscuits. And we're just going to brush away. Again, this is going to give it a really nice shine. They're going to be so pretty. Some people just use a little buttermilk and a little whole milk and brush over. Some people just use a little butter. I always use a little egg wash, or sometimes I use a little egg beaters. And you want to get the sides as well here. All right, looking good. So right here, I just have a little 8 by 8 inch baking dish. Putting a little butter in and just greasing it up real good. Again, it's not going to make a lot of biscuits at all. And y'all, excuse me for this bad lighting. The sunshine really wants to come through, but it's kind of messing up my video just a little bit. It's okay with me, though. I love the sunshine. Okay, now in this pan, I'm only getting 9 pieces. So it's going to leave me with 3. And that's where the little air fryer biscuits came in. I originally intended to bake them all, but I changed my mind because my pan was too small. So we're going in on 350 degrees for roughly 20 minutes or until golden brown. Okay, so I took those last 3 and I decided, what would happen if I air fry them? I never air fried biscuits. Let's see how they'll turn out. Okay, so I just slide them on in this air fryer on some foil here. So let me try this out. Put it on about 350 degrees. Well, I originally put it on 15 minutes, but I'm going to come back after about 7 good minutes, y'all. And look at this. They've been in the air fryer for 7 minutes and they turned out so pretty. I said, wow, not bad at all, while the other ones are still baking. I was surprised. But I did notice, I checked the bottom and I said, oh, they're not brown. So let me turn them over and let them brown just a little bit. Now, had I known that, I probably would have took them out at the 5-minute mark. I'm going to put them back in. Okay, so I let the bottom brown for about 3 minutes. It really didn't take long. So now I'm turning them back over. And they browned a little bit more than I would have wanted. But overall, not bad at all. So now, the traditional biscuits are out of the oven. They've been baking about 20 minutes. And all they're needing is a little bit of butter. And I'm going to compare the two. Let me butter them up real good. Okay, so I got my traditional oven baked biscuits and my air fryer biscuits. And we're going to break into both of them and just check it out. Check out the texture here. See if y'all ever want to try doing air fryer biscuits. So these are the air fryer biscuits. Not too bad. Texture not too bad at all. Like I said, they browned a little bit more, but it was half the baking time, y'all. Exactly half the cooking time, rather. And now this is the oven bake. See how soft and moist those are. Let me break those open. I like the oven bake, y'all. What about y'all? I like the oven bake, definitely. But the air fryer is definitely worth a shot. It's worth a try. Thank y'all so much for watching. I'll see y'all next time.